Shocking news has once again rocked the MotoGP world. Two-time world champion Francesco Bagnaia is said to be on the verge of leaving Ducati and possibly joining Yamaha, a possibility that was once unthinkable but is now growing stronger as the relationship between Bagnaia and Ducati deteriorates. Is this a sign of the end of the Bagnaia era at Ducati, and will Yamaha be the new home for the defending champion? Let's discuss. Francesco Bagnaia started his adventure with Ducati from a difficult position. He was entrusted to defend the Pramac Racing satellite team in 2019, not a main position, but enough to prove his ability. In just 2 years his performance has been remarkable. His consistency, courage and mature racing technique made Ducati not hesitate to promote him to the factory team, Ducati Lenovo. The climax came in the 2022 and 2023 seasons. Bagnaia became the symbol of Ducati's new glory. He not only lifted the World Championship trophy, but also restored the glory of the Italian manufacturer, which had long yearned for supremacy in MotoGP. With an elegant yet aggressive riding style, Pecco became a new icon that revived the spirit of the Tifosi. But with the glittering trophies and praise came a heavy burden as Ducati's main hope. The glory slowly turned into pressure, a great responsibility that was shackling, as if the shadow of past successes had become a burden that had to be reproven in every series. Everything has changed since Marc Marquez officially donned the Ducati Lenovo uniform at the start of the 2025 season. Previously regarded as Bagnaia's toughest rival on the track, Marquez is now a teammate and an opponent in the internal battle for supremacy. Marquez's presence has been like a great storm that has shifted the axis of power at Ducati. Despite his rookie status, Marquez immediately showed his class. He was fast, accurate and consistent. Not infrequently Marquez was able to outpace Pecco in practice, qualifying and races. What's even more surprising is that his younger brother, Alex Marquez, who rides for the Gresini satellite team, is also often faster than Pecco. This situation increased the pressure on Bagnaia. He began to get frustrated and, according to several internal Ducati sources, Pecco began to blame the bike and the mechanics when the race results were unsatisfactory. An attitude that immediately invited dissatisfaction from the team management. The atmosphere in the Ducati Lenovo garage seems to be heating up. Under the pressure of the fierce competition in MotoGP 2025, Ducati team director Davide Tardatis finally spoke out in a tone that was far from diplomatic. In an interview full of emotion and frankness, Tardatis launched a scathing attack on his main rider, Francesco Bagnaia, or better known as Pecco. And this time he didn't try to disguise it with sweet words. Pecco is too spoiled, Tardatis said almost without hesitation. He's a rider who always wants everything on the bike to be perfect. From tire pressure, chassis geometry, weight distribution, down to the smallest things like the shape of the grip and the position of the buttons on the handlebars, everything has to be just the way he wants it. He makes a big deal out of everything. According to Tardatis, Pecco's constant demands actually backfired on the team. He regretted Pecco's attitude, which was considered too focused on technical comfort and did not show the character of a true champion, able to adapt in the midst of difficulties. A world champion should not only be able to win in ideal conditions. They have to be able to fight, and stay fast even if their bike is not perfect. Look at great riders like Marc Marquez. He can win with a bike that is not necessarily the best. It's because his mentality is steel. He fights, not complains, Tardatis added with an emphatic tone. This statement certainly implies more than just technical criticism. There are strong signals that the relationship between Pecco and the Ducati team is beginning to unravel. Moreover, this season Pecco has not been as dominant as in previous years, while his rivals, especially Marc Marquez on the satellite Ducati Gresini, continue to pose a real threat. Several internal sources have even said that the atmosphere within the team is beginning to feel uncomfortable. Several technicians were said to be fed up with Pecco's repeated requests, which often changed direction. And on the other hand, Ducati's top brass began to reconsider whether Pecco was still the ideal figure to lead their long-term project. Tardatis concluded his statement with a powerful sentence: "When the pressure comes, the character of a champion will be seen. And right now, I can only hope that Pecco still has it." And as the storm begins to roll, Yamaha are standing at the end of the road with open arms. The Japanese manufacturer is believed to be actively searching for a top rider to fill its 2026 squad, and who better to target than Francesco Bagnaia? Bagnaia is a pupil of Valentino Rossi, a living MotoGP legend and a symbol of Yamaha's glory. This emotional connection is certainly a key factor. According to Christian Gabarini, Pecco's riding style is very similar to that of Jorge Lorenzo, another Yamaha icon known for his smooth and rhythmic riding style, a style that perfectly matches the character of the YZR M1. As well as being technically compatible, Pecco has also begun to show admiration for Yamaha. In several interviews, he has praised the hard work of the Iwata factory, which is constantly improving. After the Harrow test, Yamaha introduced a new engine specification, which is said to be much more competitive. Alex Rins even reported an increase in top speed of 2 km/h and a reduction in lap time of up to half a second. Masimo Maragali, Yamaha team principal, is confident that the new engine is ready for Le Mans. The character of the bike remains the same, but the power is greater. "We think this is a big step in the right direction," said Maragali. On the one hand, Ducati appears to be the main force in MotoGP this season. They have the best bike, the most advanced technology, and a solid and experienced team. Above all, the combination of two world champions, Francesco Bagnaia and Marc Marquez, makes them very difficult to beat. However, behind this seemingly extraordinary advantage lies the potential for a major conflict that could explode at any time. The internal rivalry between the two best riders in the world could backfire, especially if not managed with wisdom and mature strategy. Oscar Harrow, one of the most vocal MotoGP observers from Spain, has issued a stark warning about the dynamics inside the Ducati garage. According to him, the harmony between Marquez and Bagnaia is only a temporary illusion. "Marc has completed his first task, to take over the dominance from within," said Harrow. "But we must not forget that no matter how close they may be off the track, riders' egos can never be contained when the starting lights are on. When the competitive tension reaches its peak, two suns cannot shine in the same sky. Sooner or later they will collide. This situation is like a shadow of the past slowly reappearing. A déjà vu that reminds us of the dark era when two kings fought in one kingdom, Valentino Rossi and Jorge Lorenzo at Yamaha. The relationship, originally built on professionalism, eventually collapsed due to ego, ambition, and unbearable internal pressure. The conflict not only changed the dynamics of the team, but shook the entire MotoGP landscape, leaving historic wounds that will be difficult to heal. Now the scent of a similar feud is coming from another direction. This time not from Yamaha, but from the heart of the red camp, Ducati. Marc Marquez, the 8-time world champion, arrives with an aura of glory and an uncompromising spirit. On the other side, Pecco Bagnaia, the defending champion and Ducati's golden boy, is fighting to maintain his throne amidst the roar of change. If Ducati is unable to maintain this harmony, to keep the balance between the two great powers, then not only will this dark history repeat itself, but it will do so with greater force. And when stability is shaken, a way out could be the only option. It is not impossible that Pecco, the heir to the throne, will decide to leave the Red Palace and start a new era at Yamaha. A move that will shake the MotoGP power map like a major earthquake, changing the course of the history of this competition. Pecco is now at a critical point in his career. A crossroads that will determine the future not only of himself, but also of Ducati and perhaps all of MotoGP. Will Pecco Bagnaia remain the king of the red earth, or will he create a new kingdom on the blue earth of Yamaha? Write your opinion.